Hello bug friends, welcome to today's virtual bug tour. We are in the Mariposario de Mindo. This is the butterfly garden and I wanted to show off a couple of butterflies that they have here. This is an owl butterfly. As you see, they're like quite large, but I wanted to point out a couple tricks it has up its sleeve. You can first see this big eye spot here, which looks like an owl eye. And actually at night, these butterflies will turn upside down and open their wings up. And so you will get a full kind of like owl face appearance. And the second, because looking like an owl isn't good enough, you'll notice that a lot of butterflies have kind of what look like snake heads on the side of their wings. So this one's kind of a little bit of a derpy example. There are moths and butterflies with better examples of this, but this would be like this snake eye, and you're looking at it kind of from like a 3/4 profile. So like snake eye, and then like the mouth curling down. So this butterfly, to mimic predators, has both like a large bird eye looking thing and a reptile looking thing to that way scare off a lot of different potential predators. This one here is a morpho butterfly. This is the side of the morpho that no one actually really talks about. Morpho butterflies are actually identified by this line of eye spots and not necessarily the blue color that's on the inside, because there are morpho butterflies that are brown. But I will startle him and we will see him fly away. Here we are. I'm going to talk a little bit about this really beautiful transparent or clearwing butterfly.
This is a species of clearwing butterfly. This is in the genus Methona, and not all clearwing butterflies are closely related. It seems to be an example of convergent evolution where many butterflies have converged onto having transparent wings. Now, this one has dusky wings, and the way that this works is that the black that you're seeing on the wing edges are typical butterfly scales fully formed infused with melanin. To get these transparent parts of the wing, the scales are incredibly reduced into these Y-shaped structures. Now, this butterfly is more dusky colored than other clearwing butterflies, and that's because the scale structure is slightly larger. In other butterflies, those scales will be reduced to literally just bristles, but there's still enough of a scale here to absorb some light and therefore create a dusky appearance on this clearwing butterfly. Here I zoom in so you can really see that dusky texture and color.
Don't forget, bug friends, that I have 2 big group tours coming up, and signups are like now-ish if you're interested. So hang out to the end of the video to see more details about the 2 tours that I'm offering coming up next summer. So one of the things that I really like about coming to places like the butterfly garden is not only can you see like the diversity of species, but you can also see a wide diversity in how these animals live their lives. And a great example of that is what they're eating and how they eat. Now, what's really interesting is that butterflies will have different types of brushes or different types of textures on their tongues, depending on what their main food source is. So these butterflies that are eating fruit, for example, have a different tongue structure than these that are feeding on the flowers.
Let's start with this morpho butterfly. You can see it smushing around in the banana. Morpho butterflies are what we consider to be brush feeders. They can eat a wide variety of things. They're usually not going to be piercing hard fruit. They're just slurping up and moving their tongue around to get up the loose fluids. When we look at their tongue under a microscope, their tongue is very feathery, and that helps those loose fluids travel up into their proboscis. Y'all know that most butterflies feed on nectar, and so here we have a sulfur butterfly, which is a typical nectar feeder, and you can see her wiggling her tongue up and down, and that is typical proboscis movement. Their proboscis end in a little tip and are filled with essentially what look like channels all along the proboscis to really help them cash in on that big liquidy payload at the bottom of the flower. These heliconius butterflies are feeding on nectar in this video, but they can also feed on pollen, and they have a specialized proboscis to help trap pollen grains so they can slowly digest the proteins found in pollen. Everyone talks about Darwin's finches when it comes to a diversity of mouth types and what they specialize and what they feed on. But it's really cool because we can see the exact same thing in butterflies. As you see from this image, there's a wide diversity of things that butterflies can eat, ranging from nectar to fruits to tears and even blood. Regardless of what you eat, you usually also come equipped with the ability to get some nutrients and minerals from the soil, or sometimes even dead things, in a behavior which is called puddling. And that's just because many butterflies need to supplement their sugary diet with other nutrients and minerals that they wouldn't be able to get from fruit or flowers.
Continuing our tour in the butterfly gardens of Mindo, here they have on display all of the butterflies that are going to hatch today. So we'll take a quick look at these.
Here we have two morpho butterflies who are drying. They are next to their chrysalises that are still developing, and the transparent chrysalis here to the left, right next to them, that one is just about to emerge. It's like ready to go. But the butterflies need to hang to dry their wings. Those morpho butterflies were pretty far along in their process. Now we're going to look at a line of cracker butterflies. Here are two that have completely emerged, ready to fly off. And here is one to the left that has emerged, but is in the middle of pumping up its wings. And then the one to the right here is just coming out of the chrysalis. It takes about 20 minutes for most butterflies to emerge from the chrysalis, and then it can take up to several hours for the butterfly to harden and fill up those wings. If we come all the way here to the right, there is another cracker butterfly that has literally just emerged. You can see how fat the abdomen is and how small those wings are, because it will be pumping up those wings with fluid from the abdomen. These chrysalises are my favorite. They are so gold, and this is done through a mechanism called metal, or multiple endocuticular thin alternating layers. And basically, there's just lots of layers of exoskeleton and air, and that reflects light and makes them this really beautiful gold color. You can see a lot of butterflies hanging and drying their wings here, but you'll also notice what looks like a giant poop under them. And that is essentially exactly what it is. So if you look at these chrysalises, there's nowhere for poop to go. They're doing so much development, and there's so much waste product being produced by these chrysalises that when the butterfly emerges, all of that waste material is immediately expelled.
And that concludes our little tour of the butterfly garden here in Mindo. So for those bugs who want to come down to Ecuador and hang out with us, our first tour is, signups are now. And we're going to be going from the Andean Mountains up here near Quito all the way down to the Amazon. And we are going to be with a well-respected and renowned nature journaler, Marley Pfeiffer, and he's going to be showing us how to look at nature through a lens of art. So if that sounds interesting to you, signups are now. Link in the description down there. The second tour I am running with my friend John Perry from the YouTube channel Stated Clearly, and we are also going down to the Amazon, but we will be having a focus on talking about adaptations and evolution, looking at the organisms that kind of started it all, both with Darwin and with Wallace. That tour is also in the description below, and I hope that I can see at least a few of you bugs here in Ecuador, the country that I love so very much.